Good evening, everybody. Good evening, and happy 4th of July to everybody. Hope you filled your bellies, had some good barbecue, had a couple drinks. Hate to ruin your evening or your tomorrow or whatever, but I got a good show for you here. This show is piggybacking off of episode 17. So if you haven't watched episode 17, you might need to go watch it because that dealt with RPP Express, which led to Precise, which led to a whole shebang and bamboozle of clowns. Let's get into it. I got to read you something. The structure of organized crime has improved significantly over the years. The new organized crime uses and takes advantage of technology to replicate the appearance of legitimate businesses around the world. If you look at organized crime, what you see is that they are well organized across continents for the past decades. These criminals build infrastructure over a long period of time. These criminal groups do not constrain themselves to just one or two illicit activities, but involve a broad spectrum of crimes. You might see drug traffickers that used to do drug trafficking in the 80s being involved in large-scale money laundering and offering services to other criminal groups. There are interconnections between groups that work with each other and do all sorts of crimes. Criminal syndicates even have angel investors who fund others' illicit activities for greater profit. It is very important to understand the criminal services industry and the whole universe around crime and corruption. Understanding the methods and structures along with the finances of these criminals is crucial to exposing them and the harm they cause. The task of exposing these illicit and fraudulent activities is a monumental task, often accomplished by investigators as well as journalists. So, in episode 17, we went over RPP Express. RPP Express led us to Precise Transportation out of Asheville, North Carolina. And I did briefly show this in episode 17, where I showed their insurance history. I zoomed in, I showed all the cancels and replaced and all this nonsense that goes on. This is what we're interested in right here. Underneath North Carolina business searches, we want this top one here. This is their corporation. It's Precise Transportation Inc. It's an active corporation. Precise Transportation Inc., if you look on the bottom right over there, you're going to see the officer, the president, Nazar Shkinder. Remember that name. And if you remember up top, those addresses, 46 Haywood and 825C, they were virtual addresses. So a lot of these companies use virtual addresses. It's getting so bad, I can almost guarantee you that names aren't even right anymore. Okay, so Mr. Shkinder, whatever you want to call him, when you look up agent search in North Carolina, you'll find these 13 entries of Shkinder, okay? We're going to pay attention to 4 through 10, numbers 4 through 10. 1 through 3, and then 11 through 13. Maybe it's them, maybe it's a cousin, maybe they changed names, but for sure, we're dealing with 4 through 10. So, the first one, Mr. Shkinder here, he also has this company, Dispatch and Services, Inc. Okay? And you see he's the registered agent there. You'll see the address, 238 Smoky Park Highway. Okay? This address, people, I need you to possibly remember it, burn it into your mind, put it on a Post-it, stick it on your monitor, or whatever. This is one of the addresses. This address will lead us to more. It won't be in this episode. It'll be in the next episode where we're coming for bigger fish. So please remember this address. It's a link to the next show. And if you hear the fireworks, happy 4th of July again. So this is the next corporation, number 5, which is Precise Transportation. You see the registered agent, Shkinder, Nazar again. You see the address, 46 Haywood, blah, 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 those virtual addresses. Now, number 6 is very important here. Okay, see, Mr. Shkinder, the registered agent, Nazar, whatever you want to call him, has this company also, which is active, Logic Inc. But see, this is where the link happens, because the officer, the president, is Petr Radishin. So remember these names, Nazar Shkinder and Petr Radishin, or Radish, which if you remember in episode 17, Mr. Radish is also RPP Express. So this corporation right here links these guys together. They either know each other, or I don't know if these names are real, but either way, it links. RPP is linked to Precise, which is linked to Logic Inc. Okay? Number 7 on that list goes to MS Transportation LLC. Again, the registered agent is Shkinder Nazar. And you'll see that address there, a new address, 29 Sievert Way. Okay? So as you see, as we progress along, these guys have a lot of corporations, a lot of transportation company corporations. So, number 8, this one was dissolved. Milestone Enterprises LLC. But see, Milestone Enterprise LLC, although it was dissolved, has the same address as number 7. When we were at, right here, number 7, MS Transportation. You see 29 Sievert Way? This was number 7 on the list. Now we go back to the number 8, 29 Sievert Way. Same address, same guy, Shkinder. So now we go to number 9 on the list, Mills River Crossing LLC. This is dissolved. Remember, I'm going to ask you to remember a lot of things. You can always rewind, go back, replay. But this Mills River Crossing, this name will come up again, I believe later on in the episode here. Same thing, you'll see the address 29 Sievert Way. Then they must have got lazy because they didn't put the 2 in. As it goes down to the mailing and principal office, they only have the number 9. But again, this is Mr. Shkinder, Nazar Vladimirovich. Okay? Now, number 10. It had his name, Shkinder. And I had to put it in here because it says Carolina's Trucking. Now, we all know about Carolina, but there's a lot of Carolinas. But either way, the registered agent is Shkinder Petr Rotislovich. You see what's going on here? The names are close, similar. They're changing a little bit. Okay? So this is in here. Petr Rotislovavovich Shkinder. Okay? Now, this is the MC for that company, which is also in North Carolina. Carolina's Trucking has email Shkinder. So we just put this in there because this name, Carolinas, is going to come up again. Let's see what we got here. Now, so we had the link here. In episode 17, we had that same screenshot up top there. RPP Express, Radishin Pavel Petrovich, which I call Mr. Radish. Okay? So we had a link now. In number 6 on that list was Logic Inc., where the registered agent was Shkinder Nazar. The officer on that corporation says Petr Radishin. Okay? Petr, whatever. Peter Piper. This is the link. Now, Mr. Shkinder has Dispatch and Services, Precise Transportation, Logic Inc., which is the link, MS Transportation LLC, Millstone Enterprises LLC, and Mills River Crossing LLC, which was dissolved. And you can see the combinations of the names, Nazar Shkinder, Nazar Shkinder, Nazar Shkinder, Nazar V. Shkinder, Nazar V. Shkinder, Nazar Vladimirovich Shkinder. On the bottom there, you'll see Mr. Pavel Petrovich Radishin, the Radish, RPP Express, and Fleet Zone. Okay? Now, Mr. Radishin, when I'm looking at all the companies with his name on it, this is exactly how they are written. So, Radishin Pavel Petrovich, Radishin Petter, which I believe is the shortened version for Petrovich, the Petter. Radishin Mikhailovich Petter. Radishin Peter, which is probably the American version because the Petter or the Petrovich, they probably made this Peter. And then you got Radishin Pavel, which if you look at the first one, it was Radishin Pavel Petrovich. He's the donkey of the day. Because, see, Mr. Radishin here, Captain Radish, he has all these companies. And some of you are going to know these companies. Probably don't even know they're linked from the same guy. So, RPP Express, Fleet Zone Inc., Express Permits LLC, RPM Leasing Inc., Carolina Transportation Inc., another Carolina, Hotshot Land LLC, Carolina Leasing LLC. They like this Carolina. Owner-operator land. Mills River Crossing Homeowners Association, Inc. RPM1 Holdings, LLC. Premium Logistics. Carolina Leasing Group, LLC. On Track Transportation, Inc. Expedite Alliance, Inc. They're all his names. All the same guy. It might be father and son, or might be son, or might be father, because if you look on Facebook, you'll see them. Anyways, on the right there, you have the addresses. Okay? You'll see, like, Express Permits, RPM Leasing, then you jump over to Carolina Transportation. All those other, they all share 120 Dogwood Road, Candler, North Carolina. That's another address that's going to lead us to another shitstorm with the other address where I have the arrow pointing to, the 2348 Smoky Park. Okay? So, now, this video file not found. Look at this crap. I lost the whole freaking thing here. So, let's just go up here. Anyways, people, all I can say is you've been had. You've been had. You've been taken advantage of. You've been bluffed. Your customers have probably been stolen because these guys are using multiple companies. Multiple. So let's put that in perspective. If you're a broker, maybe you don't like one or two of these companies. They did something wrong. You block them. You put them on the DNU list. No problem. Captain Radish or Mr. Nazar there, whoever, if it's the same guys, cousins, friends, families, no problem. They got more companies. No problem. They'll use the other ones. Now, I want anybody to sit there and tell me that there's no way in possible hell that all these companies aren't involved in double brokering. It's impossible. I could probably bet money on it. You guys don't even know who you're booking with anymore. I'm not blaming you guys because, trust me, this is a web of shit. I mean, if I wasn't given the list, okay, I was given the list 2 months ago. I've had it on my monitor here, 55 inches. Every once in a while I open up, I look at it, I knew some of the companies, and then, when I research stuff, it's sometimes things are meant to be at a later time. It's like a fruit. The fruit has got to blossom, it's got to grow, it's got to get sweet and juicy, and then it's ready to pluck. Because years ago, when I started in this industry, I knew some of these companies. I knew something was up. And I think over the years, over the time, they've multiplied. It's like they're like chameleons just banging and having more kids. Okay? It is so crazy. I truly believe this is huge organized crime in this industry. And not only an expedite anymore, because these guys have some brokerages now. Okay? So God knows what's going on from Sprinter vans all the way up to semi trucks. I think everybody needs to do a deep dive into their records. I think you guys need to have meetings with each other, because there's no way in hell that this has got to be legal like this. I mean, I might as well open up five authorities and corporations and pretend I'm 5 different people. How do you guys know what's going on here? You know what's the sad part? I want to know how many drivers have been taken advantage of because of these guys. Because they can pass the load along each other within each other internally before they even give it to a driver. One driver could be working with all these companies and not even know it. Not even know it's the same person. This, brokers, listen, the good guys, you got to do me a favor, man. You guys got to start sharing this stuff because this got to get out there. I know one guy told me, he said he's waiting on some documents and he wants to see some indictments start to come down. And listen, I told him, make sure I'm there. Make sure I'm there. I have no problem. I'll bring 72-inch monitor to play the videos to show everything. Because what's going on here, woo-wee, this is monstrous fraud as far as I'm concerned. I said in the thumbnail 50+ companies. I couldn't put them all in. From RPP Express and the 1 or 2 other little companies to Precise to all this nonsense, I believe it's around 2021. Believe me, those names, those addresses, they're going to link to some bigger fish that you guys all know, okay? I even got an email from overseas where a guy told me, my last video, he said, that was an excellent video. He said, I'd like to tell you something else to put you on track, but I want to stay anonymous. God's truth. And I told him, I say, listen, I know a lot of this stuff. I just got to piece it all together. But it just goes to show you, when you get an email from overseas, that they even know what's going on with these guys. There's no way. Captain Radish here in Nazar, and listen, study the videos. Look at number 17 again. Come back here and look at this one. But I'm telling you, clean this crap up. Because this group of guys right here, you're talking about 50 companies. 50 companies. What do you can let your imagination go wild what you think is going on. I can guess. And trust me, my mind can think very broadly. I know there's some crime going on here. It's impossible it's not. And for anyone that knows that other clown Hippix, tell him don't worry, because I know he's linked into these guys too. Mr. Smarty Pants. All of these guys, I'm going to put them all out there. It's like I'm kicking a can down the street, man. I'm going to kick this can till it gets in that gutter. Because all I see here, these are all frauds. Frauds that have been getting away way too long in this industry. I hope you guys share this and get it to a lot of these other people, because I don't think a lot of people know what's going on. And maybe even the guy who gave me the list, I told him, listen, I found a link, man, and you can see where it goes from one company to the other company. I showed you. I mean, let's go back here, Mr. Radishin. I mean, I can't even go back there now. Anyways, so, I mean, this is just, I don't know, man. So, anyways, so the next show, but I promise you the next one, ooh, you guys are going to be shocked who's all part of this. That doesn't shock me, though, because I knew they're all the same garbage. Bunch of garbage in this industry. Let's clean it up. That's all I have to say. Let's clean it up.
I told you I would find you.